Kathleen Mine?
No. The dead don't hurt. Come on, let's go cook it.
Oh, you said the name of the title, The Dead Don't Hurt.
It is so thirsty.
Oh.
See, they need to be quiet.
Get some water, son. Oh, oh.
Fine Sunday for gardening, ain't it? I know spoke about some manure from a while back. I smelled one a little more.
What's up, guys? What's up? Ripping queefs and support, dude. That is fucking awesome. That is great, dude. Ripping queefs and support, dude. I'm gonna write that in the script, my guy. That was fucking funny. Welcome, guys. Welcome. This is an analog horror channel. I'm making an entire analog horror web series on my phone using a $30 app to edit. Why? To prove to those AI fuck boys that you can, who always complain about, oh, it's so hard to get resources to make a movie. You know how much it is to rent a camera? Bitch, you have a camera in your fucking pocket. You have an editing PC in your fucking pocket. I'm not even using the professional editing software. I'm using some shit that you could buy for $30 fucking dollars, and I'm making it. So, I'm doing that. I also have some shorts getting made in Blender, kind of like how the Backrooms was made. I'm also making a documentary about a weed distribution company. Writing a book about that process. But before all of that, I am currently right now writing a book about my first ego death mushroom experience that happened a few days ago. That left me very upset, very angry, very frustrated at the whole subculture of psychedelics in which, you know, they've been pushing onto us since the 60s, I'd say. Like, it hasn't really changed since then, and I have some big discrepancies with that. And so I'm writing them all down in a 12-chapter book. I'm about 3.5 chapters in. I'm not going to write it consistently, because as I'm writing it and as I'm, like, analyzing what I'm saying, it's like, making me more frustrated. And it's fucked up my sleep schedule. Because I get angry and I get passionate, and then it's like a cup of coffee. I'm up. And so that's what happened. It's like I was up. I was up till around like 6 or 7 last night, or this morning. Passed out, woke up. Been passing out, waking up, and it's not good. So how to you just pick the different green screen that you want. It's only available on vertical. That's the other thing. Hey YouTube, I know you queefs algorithm like spies on everybody who uses it. Listen, how about putting like a green screen on the landscape mode? You know? How about that? How about like creating that feature for us instead of constantly going on vertical? Because when I go on vertical, no offense to the 10 people that are watching, but like this is what like kids watch. The verticals is all about like the landscape is like what I would assume adults give a shit about because they like the wide screen. This I don't like filming shit like this. This is why I have an alley as a background, because it's narrow and it brings everything to the center, like right here. See how I'm in the center of the alley and stuff like that? It's really hard to find good vertical backgrounds like this. Vertical is way better. Dude, hey, I'm not complaining. Like, for whatever reason, I come here, talk about the shit that I'm making and like an analog channel made on my phone using a $30 app to edit without AI. Like, I say that, and look, there's 17 fucking people here. It's fucking insane. Also, I just want to say, if you're coming back from the last stream that just ended, we're so close, baby. Look at that. We're so fucking close to 1220. I could fucking spit on it from this fucking distance, you know? But anyway, I don't like doing this. I hate doing this. I hate it. I want to blow my brains out. It's fucking retarded. Get this off. Back to the alley. Holy God. I hate when people do that shit. Oh, hey, it looks like 60% of you aren't subscribed. Why don't you take this moment to subscribe right now, please? You know? Don't pay attention to the fact that, you know, because 60% don't subscribe, you know, it means that my personality is actually shit, and I should probably work on that instead of begging people to follow me when clearly, you know, the reason why they're not following is on my end. But I'm too egotistical to actually reflect on that, so I'm just gonna ruin my content by stopping the show and being like, hey guys, 80% of you aren't subscribed. Why don't you take this moment to, you know? Because that'll work. Fucking idiot.
We have far more than we can use. You have to let you have as much as you need. Shall I help you spread it?
Oh, it's very kind of you. I will do it in the evening when it's not so warm.
Might want to finish them rose bushes. Those two on Spill Atlantic. I can send someone to put one up for you.
I know myself.
Of course you can.
Why do people ask for it as opposed to earn?
Did you get some cold?
Wait, alright.
That sounds all together and buying it.
New Zealand? Oh, sweet, dude. You know, this is exactly how I think. It's like, why do people ask as opposed to earn it? Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem. I'll tell you exactly why, Cyrus. I'll tell you exactly why. Because YouTube wasn't given the proper care it deserved early on. And what I mean by that is, okay, so I saw the birth of YouTube, which is weird to fucking say. It ages me exponentially, and I'm so sorry for the flagellance there. So here's what it is. It's the younger generations taking control over systems being put in place now that weren't available to us before, right? So when you are a company like YouTube and you're trying to get as many people to watch your content as possible, or like go to your site, go to YouTube, right? You pitch shorts, you pitch vertical viewing, you know, like it's crazy the amount of traffic that I get doing this as opposed to landscape. Now, that is 100% of my own personal algorithm that I've shaped. It is my decision to go vertical instead of landscape. If I go landscape, I'm gonna get the same viewers as I would going vertical. But the only reason I'm sticking with vertical is because of the constant like influx of viewers. Because again, it's the generations below millennials that are pumping the vertical viewership up. So it's creators like me who have to adapt to the younger viewership in order to pitch the content for the stuff that they want to like have done, right? And so in doing that, people my age see what the younger generation is doing and then apply it to their channel, thinking that they're, you know, keeping up with the trend. That way, if any younger viewer decides to stumble on their channel, they're like, oh my God, he's breaking the same way this guy breaks, to talk about the fact that, oh, there's 80% that aren't subscribed. Oh, let me just stop the content, show my analytics, and be like, guys, there's 80% of you that aren't subscribed. And then the younger person who just got on YouTube and is grown up with all these different features that weren't available to us, now suddenly is like, oh, thinks that because there's 80% of people that aren't subscribed to him, he needs the help. So then they're gonna subscribe. It's just a trick. And the only way to combat that is to go to the complete opposite and just not really give a shit.
Put that brake, man. Ain't no horse to break.
So the begging for subscribers comes from the younger generation. And it's just something that worked for them back in the day, and yeah. Yeah, man. Because at this point, there's no reason for anybody to say, please like, subscribe, and share. It doesn't matter. Like, and the retards that are older than me that are just getting on stream, like, that's the generation that sucks, man. It's the people that are older than me that are doing this shit, that are, like, keeping these bad habits alive, you know? It's older people that don't know what an algorithm is, talking about, like, hey, man, you gotta feed that algorithm. You just gotta get on every day. You gotta make these skit videos every day, drop 3 videos. If you're not dropping those videos, guess what? Some talentless moron is making a bag over just dumping a bunch of videos, and whatever happens, you know? That's the law of averages, you know? And it's like, that's not how the algorithm works, you fucking moron. And that's another thing that annoys me about everyone's speaking about the algorithms as this singular thing when it comes to creating content. But in regards of like consuming content, they understand like there's multiple algorithms. Like my algorithm on Instagram is not going to be the same as yours. But then when they go to YouTube channel, it's like, oh, you got to feed the algorithm. You got to feed it, constantly feed it. And it's like, no, you fucking retard. The algorithm is not a singular thing. There's a viewer stream where all the viewers are compiled into this one river, and you get plugged in as they're going through the fucking shorts, and then, or going through the lives rather, and then it's just the law of averages on whether or not you get selected by that person. That's all it is. You know, it's like like when you just say, oh, you feed the algorithm, it's like, no. When you create a YouTube channel, your algorithm is neutral. It doesn't know what to do. If I start streaming at 5 o'clock in the afternoon every day for 3 months, the algorithm that I've shaped knows that I get on at 5 p.m. on Monday every single fucking day. Every single fucking week. Done this for a month. But if I decide to go on Friday at 2 in the morning, I usually get 20 viewers during this time. Why am I getting no viewers here? Oh my, they're like, oh, you're not feeding the algorithm enough. You gotta feed them. It's like, no. You gotta tailor the algorithm to how you release your own content. That's how you do it. That's how you win. Okay, there's a spoiler alert. If you're making a YouTube channel, look at your analytics, look at where you're shining in viewership, and then in deep dark purple is where your audience is non-existent. Instead of focusing on where your audience is, focus where your audience is not, and then that way, that's how you train the algorithm. Your algorithm already knows that you're dropping shit at 6 a.m. It doesn't know that you're dropping shit at 2. So then when you start streaming at 2, now the dark purple areas start to become lighter, and then other areas become dark, so you focus on those. That's how you grow. That's how you tailor your algorithm. Don't listen to retards that just say you got to upload constantly. That's so dumb. That's how you create bad habits. That's how you clutter up what could be an efficient production studio. That's what YouTube is. YouTube is the biggest studio ever that doesn't exist in the physical realm. There's there like YouTube places, I'm sure there's stages and shit where they film stuff, but for the most part, as like when you're looking at production companies, like it's the biggest because it can exist anywhere. Everyone who I've like my production company is a part of this giant thing. Randomness. Love me on Kill Tony. Who wait, hold on, Robert. Who the fuck do I look like on Kill Tony? I want to fucking know. We used to make steel. Now people are worried about algorithms. No, people aren't worried about algorithms. It's just people find new things to have information on, and they think that is going to be their next gold mine. You know, this is the gold mine. This is prospecting. This more so than Bitcoin farming. If you want to make movies, if you want to make shows, if you want to do all this, like Hollywood is not the place. Like I would love to make a Hollywood film. I would kill to make a Hollywood film. But the reality is, it's like Hollywood's not going to give me the analytics that YouTube gives me. YouTube tells me who and where I'm most popular. Like I'm most popular in New Zealand, Australia, England, like all the colonizing countries. I'm Miles Davis over there. It's just here. It's just like Mexico is not even on the map. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm Mexican. It's crazy, you know? But it's just, it is what it is, man. You know? It's like the Last Crusade when you're trying to find the fucking Grail, you know? People have all these interpretations on what they think the Grail should look like, and I'm over here looking at like, well, I mean, call me crazy, but like, if I was writing the story of the Holy Grail, you know, I'd understand that, like, I'd have to embellish. So clearly, the non-imposing, the only non-imposing cup in the entire goblet selection, it's the most obvious thing. But everybody's like, oh, I look, this is a goblet. Give me, like, here, drink from this, drink from that, drink. Everybody has their own opinion on what the goblet is, and none of them are like just using logic, you know. None of them are just using the old noodle. They just rather. Oh, and that's right, G. And it's because you're onto it. I think that's why you probably liked here. We're a prophetic nation. I mean, we really are, dude. I don't mean to say that, like, when you look at all the writers that have come out of this country, Like, yeah, you know, England has fucking Orson Welles, you know, a big fucking whoop, you know. They have Orson Welles, and yet they still have fucking Big Brother cameras on the corner. Like, how retarded is England? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can the nation that birthed 1984, like, okay, any sort of cameras on any sort of poles on any corner of any road? Like, it's so fucking wild to me. That's what's so crazy about this whole thing. It's like, you created 1984. The idea and concept of 1984 was birthed in England, and yet, you don't have the wherewithal to be like, well, you know, hey, wait, red light cameras? Those are going up? No cameras. What the fuck? Have you not read? How is that not a talking point in Parliament? I don't know how. Well, first off, I don't know how this. I don't know how that fucking nation operates. Okay, they're operating by fairy tale rules. Okay, they're ruled by kings and queens and other queef shit like that. Okay, so I don't know how their laws are made. You know, they could say that the fucking fairies and dragons and all this other fruitcake shit. Like, they can keep that Game of Thrones shit, but Orson Welles was American? What? Billy, you better not be bullshitting me now. You better not be bullshit. I swear to God, I thought Orson Welles... Wait, no, hold on. Wait, I'm thinking of the... Hold on. Sorry. George Orwell. My bad. Sorry, George Orwell. My bad. Sorry. I get them confused all the time, surprisingly. Even though 1984 is like one of my favorite books. Oh. It actually... I think 1984 is my favorite book. Ironically. That's another thing that I have a problem with. I hate when, like, I say that to people and people are like, the book that we all read in high school? I'm like, yeah, you fucking asshole. Yeah, the book that we all read in high school. Forgive me. You know, you understand that, like, 1984 existed long before high school? You know, adults read that book on their own accord. That's why we're given the option to read it in high school. It's because it's such a fucking banger that we have to give the youth the opportunity to make their own decision on whether or not they would want to read it for their own enjoyment, to be tested on later in their curriculum. And you're telling me I can't have that, can't be my favorite book because we read it in high school? Okay, well then if I read it now, can it be my favorite book? Because I'll be honest with you, like, nearly every goddamn book we've read in high school, we shouldn't have fucking read in high school, man. Even, like, 1984 probably should have been read, but, like, when you think about the bangers, Brave New World, like, how can you, like, give these stories to these fucking... And it must be so different now, man, with this, like, TikTok generation. Like, you're expecting them to read and understand 1984 back then? Are you fucking serious? You know? And then you read 1984, and it's not a fun read by any means. There's no real enjoyment about it, because no matter when you read it, every passing year it becomes more and more real. And so now you're applying all these other factors. I don't know. It's just, I think it's a level of pretentiousness that only exists in the United States. And it's like, in other countries, if you say your favorite book is 1984, people understand why. But for whatever reason, there's this arrogance. It's like, oh, you need to read more. I'm like, do I? I've read most of Hunter S. Thompson stuff. I've read enough of authors that I enjoy, you know? Like, I loved Steinbeck. Steinbeck's one of my favorite authors. He is my, like, of the whole, like, you know, of the whole, like, Americana sort of author, Steinbeck, I can't, the amount of bangers. And I like Hemingway too. Don't get me wrong. Hemingway is great. Great. Old Man and the Sea. Forget about it. Well, no, it's when I like. It's at parties usually. It usually happens when I like when I go to like when did it happen last? In the area that I grew up, um, it's very like rich and like very methed out and not methed out and like I'm talking like the rich like rich methed out like like it's just pills and fucking alcohol and just chaos, right? And so you have these people that like you run certain circles for, and it's just like it would be a party, but it's the equivalency of like a high school reunion, where you're meeting people again, and we're talking about stuff that we read and everything like that. And then I would just say, hey, what's y'all's favorite books, favorite novels, and then you'd go around the horn, and it's some books that I haven't heard, and it's some books that I have heard, and I'm like, why are you saying that? It seems like that is an answer and because it seems like people are giving book names to things that are like their favorite things are X, Y, and Z after they've ran it through like a focus group before, like they went to other parties, and when they were talking about literature, they mentioned this book and they got a positive reception, so they're just gonna use it again, and then I come in with 1984, and it's like, you mean the book that we read in high school? Like, you haven't read any new books since then? And I'm like, no, you fucking asshole. Like, in my head, I'm like, no, you fucking prick. Like, you said my favorite book. You didn't say my favorite book now. My favorite book, you said favorite book. So I'm looking at my favorite book of all time, and it's 1984. It's, like, I've read Philip K. Dick. I love all those books, but, like, 1984 is the one that is so prophetic and so real and so honest and so just unapologetically authentic that I can't believe it was allowed to be written. Lord of the Flies? Yeah, Lord of the Flies. That's another one. It's like, if anybody says Lord of the Flies, I'm immediately drawn to them, because it's like when you say that to a group of like people that that love reading books, you might as well have just said, what's your favorite poem book? Oh, I like Green Eggs and Ham. That's how they perceive your answers. I love it. I love it, dude. I love it, Billy. 1984 is such a pinnacle, like, in order to understand, like, everyone that should be like required reading for people who want to come live in America. You should have to read 1984 and understand, like, do not bring this shit over here. And even though it's already here, flock cameras are already here. So it's like, you need to understand that we're moving towards something fucked up, and we gotta stop it. But nobody's ever gonna do that because the government doesn't want more people to read 1984. I'm surprised it's not banned. I don't know what that means.
I told you not to play that damn song, you greasy bastard. Shut the hell up, man. Sean, leave him empty. Too much forgot. Boy, have that Yankee shit in this place.
The song is called Armageddon. Will be Amos Jim.
Will be in.
How the hell do you know?
Well, any Confederate song, that's for damn sure. Oh, now, Kendall. Keep this on my man and I keeping this ship on afloat for you. I don't suppose you're gonna make a nuisance of yourself for this trifling matter, are you?
No, Mr. Jeffers.
This ought to cover the expense.
Is there a sequel? I never knew there was a sequel. The only sequel to 1984 that I consider a sequel would be Brazil by Terry Gilliam. That to me feels like
Fill the place on diesel.
a sequel.
Do it.
Huh.